found yourself looking at someone and thinking, I want to be like this person, or I want what this person has? Well, that's normal, but where is your limit? Good morning, this is Today's Life, and today, good morning.
It's good to be here.
Morning,
I
Prudence.
don't know about Joyce, but it's good to be here.
It feels good.
Okay.
Yes.
So we'll be talking about envy today, and I know envy is like a very familiar concept to almost everybody, but I would like to hear your own opinions about what envy is.
Okay. When you talk about envy, I would say it's an emotion that occurs when a person lacks another person's superior quality. Of that is the fact that you either wish for it or you wish that the person lack that quality.
That is very correct. You almost don't need to add anything to what Joyce said. But we should understand that envy comes in two forms. Ooh, I envy you. I want to be like you. That's a good envy, right? When something comes to be a challenge, something that is waking you up to like become someone, is a good kind of envy. But when you start feeling, like Joyce said, less of an achiever in life, and you start hating people who have achieved more than you, you are envious of who these people are. You are envious of that particular kind of lifestyle. Instead of you to bury your head in things that can give you knowledge, you start envying unnecessarily things, to have it in your head that, I want to be like Mr. XYZ. I am envious of his lifestyle, and I want to be like this person. You see, so the envy that gives rise to desires that are positive is the kind of envy we want to see. But if you start envying people and you let envy settle in and becomes a chunky part of you, then you will live an envious life.
Okay, so what you're saying is envy could be admiration that takes you to a better place, or it could be jealousy that kills you.
You have in just a sentence, you have brilliantly explained what I have said. I like elaborating things so that people understand more, but because you are more brilliant than me, you have been able to just put it in few words. See, I'm still taking time to explain it. Yes, you have just put it in few words, and I'm sure that people that are watching have an understanding more of what envy. As few as the words are now, I can't say them. I can't repeat what you just said. But it's good that people look out for positive things in people and want to be like that. It's good that way. You look at Joyce, you say, this her hair, mine that is chopped here. What do you use to rub? Oh no, it's natural. I don't rub anything. You start getting angry over something that fell on her naturally. Yours is natural for it to chop too. So you be carrying chopped hair everywhere. So if somebody has what you are looking for, you have to humble yourself and get it, whether it is knowledge, whether it's wisdom, whether it's ability to deal with things the way that people do. Did you not know that there are people that are not very knowledgeable about things, but the way they handle issues, oh my God. There are some people that don't know how to handle issues, but they have knowledge that you can rely on. There are people that don't know how to cook, but leave them to dish it. So it's just a mixture of a little bit of everything.
Okay, so I actually totally agree with all of you. But then when we talk about envy, most of the times we concentrate on the negativity of envy. And then when we do that, I feel like I'm of the opinion that it all boils down to your self-worth. I think most times you don't appreciate who you are or what you are. And that's why when you look at somebody and you're envious of the person, it could make you very angry or hateful towards the person. And I think that it is a terrible character, a terrible behavior for you to do such a thing. And concerning it being an issue of self-worth, I would like you to chip in a little bit. Let's look at it at the angle of your self-worth being the cause of your envy, or how the. I think you understand what I'm trying to pass across.
I'm trying to.
So self-worth.
If it's me you're asking, right?
I'm actually.
Please ask her the tough questions. Ask me the simple ones. She's a fresh graduate. She doesn't pay school fees yet, so that's on a lighter note. Go ahead.
Okay, so my opinion is that if you have low self-worth or not a good kind of self-worth, and you look down on yourself, or you have low self-esteem, it could probably trigger envy. So I want to get your own opinion about that.
Reality is true. It's true that, you see, earlier when I spoke, I said you should spend time building yourself. It's important. It's important. You should start seeing your life as a building. Where are you right now with that building? Are you out of the foundation? You know, foundation, you have to dig a pit. Then you have to start laying concrete and all of that, and blocks. Then are you out of the surface where the land is? Then have you reached a window level? Have you reached a lintel level? Are you talking about roofing already? Or you are at the level of finishing? Now, let's assume you are at a window level. Let's say you're 4 feet away from the ground, and she's at the lintel level, and I am at the roofing level. If I don't take care, if I don't take cognizance into what I'm doing, you will come and start finishing while I'm still roofing. People get to that level in life. You start looking for knowledge. You get just a little of it, and then people like, wow, Prudence, you can speak. Oh, I can speak. And that's it. And you get too comfortable with what you are not already. It's wrong to get too comfortable with what you are not already. Now, I like to look at people who have attained level of achievement globally. I don't like looking locally, even though we have a lot of people locally that if you become them, you have succeeded. But look at the people who are buying companies that are in billions of US dollars. These people are buying the companies, and they are not just saying, I have roofed. No, I need to start finishing. Right after they buy a company, they start thinking, what other company can I buy? Now that you have this level of knowledge, what other level of knowledge do I need to get to? You have to be envious of yourself. You have to envy yourself. You have to say, I want to be at this level by 2020 this, 2020 that. I don't want to keep envying people for who they are and what they have become, and nobody is envying me. Even though it's difficult in life not to get somebody that is envying you. Because just that one shirt and 2 trousers that you have, somebody's like, man, if I can have a second pair of trousers, I'll be happy. Envy. But we are just saying that you need to leave that level to get to a level where you can build yourself up so that you can envy yourself in return.
And you know, envy is just a word that everybody can relate with. But like we established earlier on, it becomes destructive when you allow it to linger. And it comes to mind, that feeling comes to mind when you begin to see that, oh, this car that this person is having is something that I should have had. When you start thinking that, oh, at this age, this person has acquired this, he has a house, he has a family, she has obtained a PhD, it should have been me. That is when envy starts stepping in. But like Aristotle will say, it is pain. He described that emotion as pain.
As who will say?
Aristotle.
Okay. He's an equal pastor.
A philosopher.
Come on, Joyce. People need to laugh on the show. So go ahead.
So he described that as pain at someone's good fortune. And if you ask me, I would say it comes out, for some people, it's out of low self-esteem. Like you just sit down and you feel sad. Like most people, when you talk about envy, that's the feeling. They are angry. They are sad that you have a car, that you have gotten to this level of educational qualification. You have a family, that you are now elected as the new secretary, as the new chairman. They just become angry. But like, I will agree with you, for some people, it's just born out of low self-esteem. But I think people need to outgrow that. Like, you should start thinking of, like, challenge yourself. I shouldn't be here. Let that feeling of wanting the car push you to work hard to get it, push you positively. Because there are people that, once they start having that feeling of, it should have been me that has the car, and you know, once they're envious of you, the feeling is, it's either I have it or he lacks that thing. That's how they are seeing it. If I can't get it, this person should not have it.
Okay, so just exactly what we're all saying. I've been in a situation where the school I attended, the way my life was just going, was just a pain for somebody out there. And then I suddenly just heard rumors about myself, hearing that, oh no, this girl is doing this thing and this girl is doing that. I'm like, oh wow, this is happening. Because I'm not aware of myself doing something like that. And I concluded that was just because the person actually envied me. So there might be an atom of truth in what you're saying. At some point, maybe I was pompous or arrogant or proud, but the fact that she went about telling other people everywhere she came across, like whatever she just has a conversation with people, and now our family topic comes up, she just concludes and says, oh no, this girl has a terrible character and all that. I felt like it was envy at that point. I don't know if you've been in a situation like that. And how does it feel to you being at the receiving end of actually this word?
You just significant to my existence. You said, have you ever? Which is one. The second question is, how do you feel about it? I have ever. I am still evering. And you know how I feel? I feel great that people have time to talk about me. I feel great. Bring it on. Yesterday I was on a road trip, and I'll tell you something that happened about envy. I was on a road trip. I was driving with two of our staff who were coming back to Nigeria, to Jos. We were having a great time on the trip. And it's one of my car that I think is big. It's a big car. So when I got to Jos, I dropped them off and I went to have a meeting somewhere. When I was having the meeting, a governor came in. I had to leave the place, right, for him to talk with the person that I was having a meeting. And when he was leaving, I walked into his car. He's a governor of a different state. And he said, Tony, my wife is in the car. Come and say hello to her. I went in and I said hello. And he said, I need to talk about something with you. I'm driving somewhere. He said, I need to talk about something with you. He said, let him escort his wife home. He will be back. I said, to talk to me there? Yes. I said, okay, I'll be here. So I waited at the hotel where we were having the meeting. When I was done, I entered. That my car. I was happy. I have a car, big car. When I entered his car, I was humble. All DSTV channels were playing in his car. There were a lot of movies in his car. There was Netflix, there was everything. The car was moving. Apart from seeing houses going back and you are going forward, you wouldn't know that the car was moving. I asked myself, I said, so after this, I'm going back to that my car. If not because my mother would beat me, I would say I would have left my car there. Now, what do you think Some people see that my other car and they say, wow, look at that car. And I'll be like, yeah, it's a big car. But I saw a car that humbled me. Do you know that that governor might be with a president and enter the president's car and you'll be like, wow, this car. Wow. And our president will go to another country and enter a car that will humble him as well. So what makes you think that you are not achieving in life? The fact that you cannot afford anything on your budget does not make you a poor person. That's what it is, ma. That's what it is. And we like Joyce said, people like to compare their achievements with others.
Yes.
Why? Why? Prudence, people have said a lot of things about me. Most of the times that I've heard things about me, they are from close people. That should break you down the most. Like people you have even helped times you can't count are the people that when you hear a rumor and you are coming out large in the rumor, it's from them. That's one. How do you feel about that? If you are a weak person, you will sit down and cry and quit. But you know what? Anytime your name is mentioned in your absence, remember that you are still alive. That is why. If you are dead, 1, 2, 3 weeks, 1 month max, except they are remembering something like that's XYZ. That's how he used to say, death has cheated us. So that wedding, have you bought? That's how they will forget you. That's how they will forget you. I like to make this instance with the president of Nigeria. I think he's one of the most hated presidents Nigeria has ever seen. Why do I say that? Because almost everybody you meet does not have anything good to say about him. To the extent that people even prayed and fasted that he should die. One time he went for checkup somewhere outside the country. People were praying that he shouldn't come back.
Some people still believe he's dead.
And then when Sister Eliza died, why are you laughing? Didn't Sister Eliza
Because there were a lot of memes around that time. We say, Auntie Eli is dead. Oh, we are going for
when
burial.
Queen Elizabeth died, somebody even made a joke that the God that did it for them, he should do it for Nigeria. But guess what? Buhari is still the president of Nigeria. He's Africa's most powerful president. Not Nigeria, Africa. The president of Nigeria is a powerful president. The only president that can wake up and decide whatever he wants to do and do it. That is Nigeria. Anybody comes with an agenda in Nigeria. That's deciding what you want to do. Somebody came and said he wants to re-engineer Nigeria. Somebody came and said 12-point agenda. Somebody came and said, so every president comes with an agenda. The envy gravitated from envy to hatred. Pure, unadulterated hatred. But you know what? This moment, if the president of Nigeria says, I want to have dinner in Somalia, the next thing, nobody will start asking any question. The private jet is already fueled. They will just turn it and wait for him to come. They will just ask him, sir, what restaurant, where? So that they can make arrangement. I heard Obama's wife said one time that she warns her husband against making desires loudly. Because as a president of America, whatever you say, even if it's a joke, you see it in your front. And you know, in America, their system is such that whatever you eat as a president, they will bring your bill at the end of the month and you pay. Do you know that? It's not like that in Nigeria. So there was one time she said that Obama tasted a fish and he said, wow, this fish tastes so good. The next meal, they served him with that fish. Guess what? They flew the fish in from China because the president said he wanted this. You and I, if we say, Kai, I want to have amala for lunch, it's either we walk to where the amala is, and if we don't have money, we'll just go there, perceive it, and come back. You can't say something and people are running. So why would you start envying such a person? Of all the things said about Buhari, the man is still alive. He's not just alive, Joyce. He's still powerful. So, how do you feel when people talk about you? Well, people that are weak, people that are like weak, and you break down. You break down. You don't achieve anything. You feel like quitting. There are people that can stand anything, but don't talk about them. When you talk about them, wow. Any other thing, they can stand it. Look at you. They said that you are pompous, you are arrogant, you are what again? What was it? You are rude. And the people that will say you are rude, they have never had anything to do with you. For me to be rude, Joyce, you have to come close to me to see me being rude for you to be able to call me rude. You can just see people and assume this Linda, the way she's raising her head up, this girl would be very, very stubborn. Until you sit with her. It's just an example. I'm not saying she's not stubborn. It's just an example, right? Until you sit with her. Wherever Linda is, may the Lord bless her. But the truth of the matter is, okay, I said on TV. The truth of the matter is, nobody should have rights over judging any other person. In the book of Luke, a family met Jesus and said, please, Jesus, I think Luke 11 or so. He said, tell our older brother to share our inheritance for us. It would have been a right thing to do. But do you know what Jesus said? He said, who made me a judge over you and your brother? Jesus said that. But why are we now thinking that I can be a judge over Joyce and Prudence? Why? You don't have to say, okay, Kuna, the matter, let me settle your matter. No, that's not being a judge. Being a judge is when you even sit down and start talking about two of them. Prudence, she's more humble than Joyce. You have become a judge. And Jesus said, who made me a judge over you? Do you know why Jesus said that? Because the Bible captured it already, that judgment is of the Lord. So who made you a judge over the person you are saying is rude? Who made you a judge over the person that you have tagged a fornicator? Who made you a judge over the person you have tagged a drunkard? Who made you a judge over the person you have tagged an armed robber? Who made you a judge over the person you have tagged a 419? Who made you a judge over all these people you are giving bad tags? Meanwhile, Jesus, God will carry them, put them on his lap and be like, you know what? You didn't get it right here, but I still love you. Next time, do it this way. And people are busy calling you names. It's envy. It's envy. Because when they are busy, when they have money, when they have good character, they will think less about all these things. With these few words of mine. So Prudence, people will talk. People will talk. And the people that are watching the show, whatever is said about you, whether it is true, whether it is not true, you just pick up yourself and move on. That is what is most important, because the people that are speaking against you, they will continue. I have done this, I have done it in the breach, that they were holding, and the man had to jump into the breach. An elderly man. The video is trending. Only God knows everything that makes you strong or weak. Joyce, Prudence is information. What you hear. And if you don't have enough of God's word stored up within you that will counter the information you have, you break down. You break down. Pick it up, Joyce.
Well, I would like
Have they spoken about you that is not true? Let me be the show host now.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, in today's life on Equa Television, my name is Tony Makale. So I have Joyce Jakada. Joyce Jakada, have they spoken anything about your life that is not true?
Yes, they've said that countless times.
Okay, can you say one? Is it okay? Is it okay? Is it that one that you stole chicken? Or which one?
No, not that.
Okay, a different one.
Well, growing up as a child, let me start. Then why I want to bring that instance is because of the fact that you talk about what we think when we hear what people say. As a child, after my primary 5, we wrote common entrance, and then my neighbor who had a a child that is yet to be in primary 5 just decided that join them and write the exams. And then when the result was out, the headmistress told me to go and tell your parent that you passed, he failed. That's the neighbor's child. Tell the mom that he failed. Tell your mom you passed the exams. So I went as a child. I was happy. In fact, I was running from the school to just get home. And then it was their house before ours.
So you
I
broke
had
their
to,
news first.
yeah. So going there, the headmistress said I should tell you that your child failed. You passed. Ordinarily, you're not. She started saying all kinds of things to me, and I was shocked. Like, I was expecting that the mother would say, oh, well done, and as a child, but I didn't hear that. She started saying things. I think it's growing up that I started thinking, oh, why would she talk like that? And when I went to my mom, I told her, I still explained well. She just said, don't worry, well done, and that was just it.
Primary 5?
Yes.
That's like 4 years ago.
Oh. So
We don't want to know the date. Just go ahead.
So at that point, like, I felt sad even as a child. Like, I was expecting that, well done, and all of that. I'll buy this for you and that, and then you might just start shouting and all. And then, as an adult, I think I found myself in an environment, and then I had to go for some time. And while I was away, and someone called me and said, I had this and this and that. And at some point when I first sat down, I was like how can somebody just sit down and just cook up things about you like that? It was like, so I've been with this person, I've been around, like, you didn't deem fit to even if you feel that, oh, I was acting a way that was not good, or you can't tell me. And then while I was away, like, people decide to form cluster and then sit and then start talking. At first, I was worried. I was concerned of the fact that you can't talk to me, and then you had to just sit and cook something. Like, why? What was the aim? And then immediately I just told myself, wow, that means I was doing well. Like, if this person, like, people can see it, because how the message came was like, that's what is flying around, that you did this, you did that, and you were into this and that. When I sat down, the second thought, I said, wow, that means I did well. Like, if people, like, look at the caliber of people that sat down and then they were actually talking about, I said, oh, it was good. And I just told myself, like, I did well. For somebody to just decide to form cluster and decide to say things like that. And I didn't even allow that. Like, the real battle is not with your enemies, who you presume to be your enemies.
It's with yourself.
It's in your mind.
That's the truth. It's in your mind. And you see, I saw one of the suggested topics that you guys wrote for today's life. And I can't wait to be part of that topic, because you are asking if the battle is with the mind or is with others.
Yes.
And I cannot wait for that to talk about, for us to talk about that. Joyce, let me tell you something. And I don't mean to brag or take honors on myself. But you know what? I asked myself, I said, if you are this thing that these people say, would you have this number of awards? Would you have this number of recognition? How possible that you have over 40 awards, over 50 awards, and then all the people did not make the right decision giving you these awards? How possible is that? How possible is it that people look at you and say, we are proud of you, and all the 1,000 of them are lying? How possible that people will look at you and say, see how you are taking care of your husband or your wife. See, when your husband was sick, see how you took care of him. You are a good woman. How possible is that all people in the area are saying this and it's not right about you as a woman? Last year, I was given an award as Dear Giant of Africa. The same organization called me this year that for the first time, they are going to have someone that is taking that award 2 times in a row, and it's me. I say, are you serious? They say, yes. This organization is not in Jos, it's in Abuja. How do they know? The Bible says, by your fruits, we will know you. We will know you. Have you ever seen somebody that is giving an award before? Whether on TV or... Joyce, have you seen?
Yes.
Have you ever seen a person that was giving an award for gossiping about other people?
No.
But the people that are gossiped about are the ones that receive the award. So why are you worried?
Yes.
You know, that was why I said in the beginning that that emotion is something that it occurs when a person lacks the superior quality,
Yes.
possession of
You
the
know,
other
when you
person.
start feeling, okay, me too, I said something in the beginning. I said,
We all had a beginning.
but the truth is, when you start feeling less of who you really are, that is when you start, meddling in the things that you have no business, jumping into. Why would I wake up and just have a breakdown because of what I heard about me that is not true? There was a time I told the staff here, I said, it's like somebody borrows my body and I'm not aware to go and do certain things outside. And then I come back and I hear that, this man is this way, this man is that way, this man does this man does that. Is as long as we are alive, our own Jesus, what did they not say about him? That he's flocking with prostitutes and thieves and all of that. And do you know what? Jesus knew these people were this way. But he went to them, some of them he went to have dinner with them, some of them he went to have lunch with them. They say he's stealing money. But do you know what? One of them said, today salvation has come to my house. He took everything and shared to the poor. So which gospel are we preaching? Saboda Allah. Sorry.
For
God's sake, yes. So I've stopped being a show host now. Over to you. Host number one.
Okay, so I actually came across this very interesting definition of envy. It's from the Merriam-Webster dictionary. It says, envy is painful or resentful awareness of an advantage enjoyed by another.
Do you want to say that again?
Yes. Let me read that again. Envy is a painful or resentful awareness of an advantage enjoyed by another, then joined with a desire to possess the same advantage. So you have the desire to possess the same advantage, but most of the times we end up, instead of pursuing to aim to be bigger so that we'll reach that level, we end up trying to pull that person down. You're trying to break the person so that person isn't moving forward. But we forget that when we do that, we are also stopping ourselves from growing. And then I also saw this thing that says we need to stop measuring our self-worth by other people's standards. So if you don't stop doing that, you continue to envy people, and then it becomes negative. You continue to negatively, everything just becomes negative in your life. Instead of you growing, you just end up being stagnant, or maybe even going backwards, moving backwards, because you have focused yourself on envying this person, and you've set this standard based on another person's standard. And then I also came across this, the person was mentioning Cain and Abel, the issue between Cain and Abel, the siblings rivalry. Okay, so at first it seemed like just a mild siblings rivalry, but when Cain heard what God had to say about his offerings that he brought before him, a lot of people speculate that the thing was that he became so angry to the point that he did not want to see his brother progressing anymore. And yes, he came and killed the brother. But at the end of it, to be honest, the truth is that he still felt the regret. Because if he wasn't that regretful, he wouldn't have answered God saying, am I my brother's keeper? It hurt him as well, because even regardless of killing his brother, he did not get the approval that he was looking for from God. And that's what a lot of us end up doing. We tend to forget that when we see somebody progressing, that's a person's blessings. We're supposed to work towards ours. Work harder towards yours instead of being there to just try to pull that person down. And so I was thinking, says, I actually noted this down again. It says, just to buttress what I was just saying, envy inevitably leads to personal harm, affecting one's physical, spiritual, and emotional well-being. So you're like affecting everything about you. You're not moving, you're not growing spiritually, physically, you're just not growing. You continue to be stagnant, you would not move forward. So I was saying, more from the Bible. Let's look at a lot what the Bible has to say about it, and then let me start by saying this. Proverbs 27 verse 4 says, I mean not says, it actually gave an illustration of what, no, not an illustration, I'm trying to get the word. It's
Proverbs what?
Proverbs 27 verse 4. It was mostly saying that it would lead to your being envious could lead to a destructive and a remorseful way of life, just buttressing on what I just said. And then estrangement from God, that one comes from Romans, one of the passages in Romans. And there are other things that the Bible does say about envy. So I would like us to talk about that. Let's dig through the Bible and see.
Wrath is cruel, and anger is outrageous. But who is able to stand before envy? You see, this envy thing, it leads to a lot. It leads to a lot. I was thinking to myself recently, and I said, envy will make you become the person that you are not. The more you waste time envying people and things negatively, the more you build a personality that you are not. And before long, you become that personality that you were not. You have a work or a job, cleaning, but you work with toxic people where you clean. And before long, it was on Equa Television that I said that you will become, eventually, you will become the environment where you dwell in the most if you are not careful. Now, when you allow that to form a kind of person that you were originally not, this is what it does. You are a cleaner. You left the cleaning work to become an envious person. You are envious of everything that happens. You start seeing yourself as, because I am a cleaner, you start seeing yourself as the least in the organization. Now, when you came with some self-worth. And then you have children at home, you have wife at home that have been looking up to you. Now you have a job. They will look up to you more. They will respect you more. But because of who you have eventually become as a result of envy, you have formed a new personality. And don't forget that the old personality will leave. Before long, that organization will not be comfortable with who you are anymore. Before long, that love relationship will not be comfortable with who you are anymore. Before long, the family will not be comfortable with who you are anymore. Before long, friends will not be comfortable with who you are anymore. They would leave. The organization might even send you away. But think about it. When you are sent away and you get a new job or a new friendship or how do you intend to sustain that new thing that you have now with that kind of personality that you have? The personality that got you a job and kept you well in the job, you have done away with it. Now you have a personality that is not just disliked, but hated and hateful. Who would stand that? If somebody is paying you salary, he's not even happy that he's paying salary. How much more you become a terrible person that is being paid? So we have to look at this envy not just from work perspective, not just from man to woman love life perspective, not just from, we have to look at envy as it has to do with life in general. So when you become the person you have no business becoming, first question you should ask yourself, this person that I'm becoming, who is going to tolerate it? Because it's an it. Who will tolerate it? wife and children, okay, if they will tolerate it's fine. But there's another question. Are they the only people I want in my life? So look at how the Bible is describing anger, envy. It's just, look, why can't you just live your life and be happy that you are alive? Must you start attaching everything that you are not to every conversation that you make? Some of us just fail to see the blessings, the greatest blessings of God upon our lives. You talked about primary school. How many people went to that primary school with you today that are alive? Even if they are alive, how many of them have achieved half what you have achieved? I met one of my secondary school classmates recently. I think I am like 2-3 years older than him. But he looks like my mother's mate. He was just trying to say a lot of things within a minute that I didn't understand. You could tell he was under the influence of a lot of things, and he has been taking a lot of things and all of that. This boy was sharp. What happened along the line? What envy does is just, we are the ones that are just thinking, kishi. That's envy. We think it's a small thing. No, it's not, man. It's not. You have an office. How many people do you envy? How many people envy you? There is a great, like I said in the beginning, there is a positive envy, there is negative envy. Joyce, I envy you. I watched you on TV yesterday, I envy you. I can still say, Joyce, I envy you, but it's negative. And this life, nobody cares who is teaching you what, where you are learning this from. What people are all about is, how are you doing this thing? Nobody cares who learned, how you learned, where you learned, and nobody. People will tell you, I was at Harvard, I came back to Nigeria to do it. Before long, they have started drugs. You that went to UJ, you are doing well.
Well, what I would say is that
I'm talking nonsense.
you're talking well.
You're making a lot of.
Don't worry, I was also in UJ, so don't worry.
Well, you see, envy is the work of the flesh. The Bible is clear about that. And that's why if you go to Proverbs 14, verse 30, it says, a sound heart is life to the body, but envy is rottenness to the bones. In James 3:16 says, for where envy and self-seeking exist, confusion and every evil thing is there. Like confusion, every evil thing is there. Have you seen somebody that is envious? He's always sad.
Joyce, take this scripture to politics. Then the picture will be clearer.
Yes.
Like,
this is how we used to be. We were in the same party. Now, because they didn't give me ticket, I've joined another party. I've joined another party. You are even waiting for an opportunity to hear that I've died. It's envy. It's envy. So if you carry this James 3:16 to politics, the picture is painted clearer. It's painted clearer. The envy that is in politics and church, with these few words of mine.
so
oh, you are not done talking. Okay, go ahead.
envy is destructive.
Yeah.
Like the bottom line is that it is destructive. You brought the story of Cain and Abel. And then when he saw that, when Cain saw that Abel's sacrifice was respected, he got envious of his brother. He killed him. There's also when Korah in the Bible too, Korah was envious of Moses and he was swallowed up by the earth. We also
And his
understand.
brothers.
Yes. So these are clear examples of people that tore that part and their end is destruction. And it didn't even stop there. Like a story was told of a lady. She saw like her classmate looking good, doing well, always dressing good outfit, and she became envious of that lady. She didn't know that she had older ones that were working already and they were sponsoring all the lifestyle. And then you're coming from a home that your parents struggled, mom sells akara and all of that to make out. Then she decided to join the hookup group, and then at the end of the day she contracted a disease. She had to drop out from school because she started doing drugs as well. And then she was not doing well academic wise. She dropped out, and then she had to deal with the effect of the disease she contracted. Envy, like, is destructive. If I think people should start thinking of where lies my limit, like what can I do. the competition should not be about what another person possesses.
Like you said earlier, it shouldn't be about you and others.
Yes.
It should be about you and yourself.
So start thinking, how can I be a better person? Like do you know that some people don't even talk, but when you pass them, the look on their face says a lot. Like you will just talk. You have a privilege to speak to people, and then everybody is clapping, applauding you and saying, you spoke to me. You like what you said. Actually, I was really in this state, but after hearing you talk, I was encouraged and all. And then you just see another person's mood just change immediately. Now he's thinking it should have been me in that position of talking. If you cannot be that person, can't you just start developing yourself to be better? I think for people not to throw that part of destruction, because whether you like it or not, the Bible cannot lie. Where there's envy, there's confusion. Every form of evil is there. So I think if you have that feeling, because there are people, they don't even know that they have that emotion of anything good. If they hear about other people, they start feeling sad. You can change. All hope is not lost. First, start acknowledging that, yes, this thing I'm doing, once the feeling comes, just say no to it. Start thinking of how you can develop yourself so that you too can be appreciated, so that you too can make impact. The car that he has can never automatically become yours. You don't know that some of these things are gifts. They are talents. God has already spoken about this person's life. You can't change it. You can't. And that is why no matter how hard, if the competition, whatever you're doing is to become that person, you will never. You will never. So I think it's body. Do it. Instead of you sitting down and doing, I have to be Mr. Tony, whether he likes it or not.
Okay, so I actually saw this. It denies your uniqueness.
It buries it. It won't be seen because you are busy doing something else. Nobody would see how great you are. You know, I know you are reading points, but I have to cut in through to appreciate that first point you gave. Your uniqueness is not even, it's a unique thing. It's psychological, it's natural. It will disappear and people will stop seeing it. And when they stop seeing it, God help you, they will start seeing something bad about you. Yes. And they will capitalize on that bad. Just because they are envious of things they should have celebrated.
Yes.
Next.
So you have a focus, but then because you are envious, you
can even do this show alone.
Let me clap for this Tangali lady. Sorry.
It's not Tangali, it's Tangali.
Tangali.
Meanwhile, we have it. Please go ahead.
Tangali nation.
Next time you are hosting, I'll bring paper and biro. Let me be jotting new things.
I'll come with recorder.
It's your time and energy. It's like envious of something you're envious about you. It just kills you instead. And then the last one is it leads to every other sin. Envy is like the way they said money. I didn't mean it like that. Okay. Envy leads backbite. You could gossip. You could whatever. You could adultery. All those things. You want to bring the person down. All those things happen because of envy. So I actually saw, but you can control what you invite in. So yes, you would feel envy.
You said in your introduction. It's the same thing. Say what you said from your introduction, Prudence, so that we can rest.
You're doing well, or you see something of someone and you would want to have that as well. But what is your limit? Channel it to build yourself instead. Don't channel it to kill the person. Channel it to build yourself so that you would grow person, because you see that this person is working well. You're killing yourself. You're not, but it is killing you. So be careful about that. Careful.
Since we are all going back to the beginning, let's go back to the beginning. In the beginning was the word, and what I've said on the show from beginning to now. Stop paying mind to things you have not been to have in life. Speak well of them. That is just what I've learned. Like, there are people that are doing well. Some people say, when you see people acting, you don't even know what God told them. You don't know that your pastor, somebody knows already. What would it cost you to say, Ma, I like the way you present on TV. I have this issue with my presentation. Can you help me out? There's 3. The richest people on earth, they don't think that way. That's why you are still broke. Brokenness. Poor. You know, you are broke is different from poor. You are broke. And you are myopic. Myopic is somebody who doesn't think what that girl is doing when she closes from work. Like Joyce said earlier, that some of the things that people have, they are a gift. You can't fight it. That is why you will never hear me say, I want to buy, money to buy. People can walk up to you and give you what you have been planning to have all your life. How much did you buy education that gave you knowledge? They have it. They didn't buy it. The Bible says these things on us. With these few words of mine,
Today, envy has transcended joy away with it because it leads to destruction, bitterness, every form of evil. And I would just like to